Welcome back to the podcast. Today's reflection comes from something I've been noticing in my work and in myself as a yoga teacher and teacher trainer. It's a quiet observation, but a meaningful one that speaks to integrity, embodiment, and what happens when we stop living in fragments and begin living as one whole. This is a reflection on congruence and why it can feel both freeing and confronting. There's something I've been noticing lately, particularly in my work as a yoga teacher and teacher trainer. When people reach out to inquire about my trainings, sometimes the conversation begins and then goes quiet. Rather than seeing that as something to fix, I've been listening to what it's showing me. Many people live two lives, two hats. There's the outer self, the one who shows up, functions, copes, performs, and says yes. And then there's the inner self, the one who knows, feels, senses, and often stays quiet. For a long time, those two selves don't fully meet. That doesn't mean someone is dishonest. It usually means they once needed that separation to survive. I lived there too. For many years, I had an outer version of me that could hold space, teach, and care for others, and an inner version that carried truths I hadn't yet embodied. Over time, through yoga, listening to the body, and lived experience, something began to change. My inner truth and my outer expression started to align. And when that happens, something very interesting occurs, especially in teaching spaces. You stop persuading. You stop softening truth to make it more palatable. You stop carrying other people across thresholds they need to step through themselves. You become congruent. And congruence can feel confronting to people who are still wearing two hats. Not because you've said anything unkind, but because your steadiness quietly mirrors the gap they're still navigating. In my work, I see this when interest doesn't always turn into action. And instead of taking that personally, I now understand it as information. My clarity is meeting someone else's uncertainty. My readiness is meeting someone else's timing. My embodiment is meeting a truth they're not ready to live yet. That's not rejection. That's discernment on both sides. This work I offer, whether in yoga classes, teacher trainings, or mentoring, isn't about convincing anyone. It's about creating a clear, grounded space where people can meet themselves honestly. Some will feel the call and step forward. Some will feel it and realize the timing isn't right yet. Both responses are respected here. What I'm learning and living is this. I no longer need to meet people where they are if it means leaving myself. That doesn't make me rigid. It makes me integrated. Living one life instead of two brings peace. It brings less tension in the body. It brings a quieter confidence that doesn't require explanation or agreement. If you're noticing this shift in yourself, less need to chase, persuade, or perform, you're not becoming distant. You're becoming congruent. Before I close, I want to say this gently. If you're listening and you recognize yourself in any part of this, whether you're living one life or still holding two, there is no judgment here. We all move at our own pace. We all shed layers in our own time. Congruence isn't something we force. It's something that emerges when the body feels safe enough to be honest. So if this reflection resonates, you're welcome to share it, not as a message to change someone, but as an invitation to meet ourselves with a little more kindness and truth. Thank you for listening.